What's up, nerds? My name is Corey Bergeron and you're watching Corey Bergeron Recordings, and we're back with a brand new video. If you were unaware, on July 2nd, my band Locket released a cover of an iconic song. The song is called Everywhere, and it was originally performed by Fleetwood Mac. Now, every single human on planet Earth knows this song, and even if you don't think you know this song, go listen to the song, and then you'll realize pretty quickly that you do know this song. One of my favorite things about this track is that iconic arpeggiated synth intro part. Now, when we were working on our cover of the song, we were thinking of making it like a little bit more chilled out, but we still wanted to recreate that synth part. And I think we did a really good job of it. And I know that because after we released it, I had a couple people reach out to me and say, hey, what plugin did you use to create that intro synth part? And joke's on them, we used a real deal synthesizer, this guy right over here. And I'm gonna show you exactly how we did it. I'm actually gonna recreate it the exact same way and show you how to do it in this video. But first, if you plan on releasing music anytime soon, I recommend using the service DistroKid. DistroKid is a service that allows you to get your music on all the online major music stores and major streaming services. This includes Apple Music, Spotify, and 150 plus other places. For just a low annual fee, you can upload as much music as you want, and you get to keep 100% of your royalties, which is a good thing. So, if you sign up using my link, www.distrokid.com/VIP/whatsupnerds, you will save 7% when you sign up. It's a good thing, you save money, it supports the channel, life goes on. Okay, I'm going to show you how we created the synth part. Alright, so I'm going to show you how we made the arpeggiated synth sound, and as I mentioned, we actually used a real synthesizer, and that is the Roland JX-3P synthesizer that came out in 1983. What's up? 2 camera angles. This is actually my dad's synthesizer. He's owned it since that time period, and the song Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac came out in 1987. So was this synthesizer the one that was actually used on the original song? No. The internet says that the original synthesizer was a Roland DX-7, which is a really popular synth. So we ended up using this synth. It's got a bunch of really cool sounds. All we did was kind of go through all the different presets and find something that we liked, and that's how we created the sound. So I'm going to show you exactly, we are going to recreate it in Pro Tools, which is right in front of me. So we have a Pro Tools session open. These are the bells that are actually on the final version of the Locket track. So this is what they sound like. They sound great, and I'm going to show you exactly how we made it. So this synthesizer here, the Roland JX-3P, actually has an arpeggiator function to it, and it works a little something like this. How to make an arpeggio. Boop. But we didn't actually use that. What we did is actually pretty funny. So I went on the World Wide Web and I typed in Fleetwood Mac Everywhere MIDI. And I downloaded the MIDI to the entire song, and it looked a little something like this. So as you can see in this session here, I just imported the MIDI, and we have the bass, the bells, the flute, the piccolo, the choral, the snare drum, the bass drum. We basically have every single instrument, even the vocals, I think, mapped out in MIDI. So that's great and all, but I only want that intro synthesizer part. And that leaves us with this. So let's just move this into place, and we'll cut this like that. Okay, so now let's create a stereo track here, and we're gonna make those inputs 1, 2, and we're gonna call this New Bells, and let's make some noise with our synth. I can't play. If we use the power of Pro Tools here, we take this MIDI, we actually track this as semitone down. So let's move this down, let's make a MIDI track. Let's throw this MIDI on that MIDI track, we'll just call this MIDI Bells. And let's make the output of that my little M Audio MIDI Sport here, which is a 4x4, 4 MIDI ins, 4 MIDI outs. So if I've done this correctly, which I believe I have, I should be able to press play in this Pro Tools session, and this MIDI is actually going to come out of my computer, and it's going to go into the MIDI in on the Roland JX-3P here on the back, and then that is going to make it play this synth part, and then it's going to come out, stereo line out into my interface. Let's see what happens. I forgot something. So on this synthesizer, this is the right preset, but there's this chorus button over here. And if you press it, it takes your mono signal and it turns it to stereo by adding stereo chorus to it. And it sounds good, so I use that 100% of the time. Here we go. Boom. So now it is recorded in audio. We can take the record enable off. We can delete this MIDI. We can mute it. And it is here. Now, I threw a micro shift on the original one. I threw a little bit of EQ, cutting out some of the low end, making it a little brighter. And I really like this Brower Motion plugin, just throwing it in the mix a little bit. If you listen to the original track, there's a little bit of movement going on. I don't know exactly how they created theirs. So with the micro shift and the Brower Motion, it just adds a little bit of movement, so it's not just this like totally static arpeggiated part that's, you know, totally locked to the grid. It gives it a little bit of looseness. Ooh. So let's drag these plugins down here, and let's see how close we got to the original. Alright, so that is the new one. Boom, just like that. So, that is how I use the power of the internet. I downloaded MIDI that some fan probably created, and then I took that MIDI, put it into my computer, routed it out of my computer into a synthesizer from 1983, affected it a little bit, put it back into the computer, added some plugins on it, and at the end of the day, we have this beautiful synth part everywhere. Iconic. And yeah, so that's how we created the intro arpeggiated synth part on Locket's cover of Everywhere. If you have not yet checked out our cover, I recommend to go do so, or is that what you say? I would appreciate if you go and do so. It was a lot of fun to make. We made it all here in the basement. And if you'd like to download the multi-track to this cover that we did, you can do so if you head on over to the Patreon. If you become a patron, you can download the multi-track to this song, as well as a bunch of other songs that I've done in the mix videos for on this channel. So if you want to improve your mixing, or you just want to snoop around and see how I go about doing things, you can download those multi-tracks over there. There will be a link for that down below. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. That is basically it for the video. Join the Discord. I think I said everything that I have to. That's it. Create more, create more, create more. I will see you in the next video.